Hey friends, Mindy here. I have a quick process video for you today. I am trying to get back on track with my full deck challenge. This is something that's hosted by Shauna over at Shinuki Art here on YouTube. And I am several cards behind, so I'm going to try to get caught up here. I just had some other projects going on. So this is the full deck challenge number 9. So this is the prompts for today are magazine, vellum, flowers, and weaving. So I am starting out, I'm using some distress collage medium. This is the vintage color. I just have this little pot of it. And so I'm actually going in with some tissue here because I thought maybe I would just use this kind of leaf motif as my flowers. But anyway, so I'm just kind of layering this up. I'm trying to hide the those big red hearts in the background. So I'm just going in with several layers of this vintage collage medium and this tissue, just layering it, making sure that I have a good layer of collage medium on the bottom and over the top as well, just to kind of seal everything down. In the end, you can still see a lot of that, but that's okay. Most of that is going to get covered up, and then I'm just going to let that dry a little bit off to the side while I work on the next aspect, which is the weaving. Now I'm going to actually use some magazine pages for this. These are some National Geographic magazines that I kind of altered with Citrusolve. I have a video for that. I'll try to remember to link it down below. So I'm just going to cut these into about 1/2-inch strips. I have 2 different pages here that kind of have similar coloring to them, but I think they'll be different enough that I can weave them together. I decided to use my other paper trimmer here just so I could measure this a little bit easier. So again, I'm just going to cut 5 or 6 strips of this about 1/2 inch in width, and then and do that to both pages, and then I'm going to start my weaving. I'm going to tear off the excess of this tissue. You could trim this down with scissors for sure. At this point, I'm just going to tear it because I will probably be trimming it down anyway in a minute. So I'm just tearing off all of that. I'm going to get rid of that. And then I'm going to add a little strip of glue down across the bottom. I'm just going to use a glue stick. I'm using my Yoo-Hoo glue stick. And I'm just going to add a strip across the bottom for my first set of these paper strips. These are the magazine strips, and just lining them up right at the edge, and then I'm going to line these up all from the same, or in the same direction. This is from the same magazine page, but I'm trying to kind of vary, like I'm flipping them back and forth so that it doesn't create like a continuous image, if that makes sense. Not that it's abstract anyway, but you know what I mean. So now I'm just going to use the other strips and go kind of every other one. You can see I'm just pulling down 2 of those, and then I will take another strip, and then I'll pull the opposite ones and slide this next strip down in there. And I'm not gluing this right now. These will hold in place until I get to the end here, and then just kind of going back and forth just with the over-under pattern. I'm going to go 1/2 or 3/4 of the way up this card. So a lot of what I did earlier is going to get covered up. And then I decided to just go ahead and glue these down. So I'm just using that same Yoo-Hoo glue stick and adding all of the loose pieces, the loose edges. And then at the top here, what I wanted to do is kind of try to just keep this a little bit visually interesting, I guess, to me anyway. So I am tearing all of these strips at different lengths here at the top. So I'm just adding a little bit of glue, kind of tearing it where I want it to be. And then I'm just going to do that with all of these little pieces. And then I will have my weaving glued down. Of course, you could do this separate and then glue the whole weaving down at one time. I just decided to use the card to help me do that. So now I'm going to trim off all of the excess, and this is where I will trim up the edges a little bit with from all of that tissue that was on there. So this is kind of where we're at now. I have this little floral that it kind of looks out of place here. It looks a little bit different off in person. The coloring is a little bit different, but it's very white, and so This is a leftover ephemera piece from a By the Well for God kit from months ago. So I just went over it with my little makeup brush and whatever like brown color, probably vintage photo or whatever was on there. And then I remembered I needed to add some vellum. That was in one of the other prompt for this card. So I just took a piece of vellum. This is pretty sturdy vellum, and I just tore it. And now I want to change the shape of it just a little bit. I'm going to kind of keep this over here on the right side of this page. And now I haven't glued it down yet. I'm just holding it in place, and I'm going to trim this down. And it's going to go all along the right side here. And then I'm actually just going to use my my Yoo-Hoo glue stick here to glue this down. The problem with vellum is, you know, once you add like a liquid adhesive or whatever, it kind of tends to curl up, and this thicker vellum especially is really bad about it. So I just used my glue stick to do that. And then now I'm going to use my liquid adhesive and glue this ephemera piece with the florals down here in the bottom corner, just adding a little bit more glue here and there, and then I will trim that down so that it's not hanging off the card. You could certainly leave it hanging off if you wanted to. It's been a while since I've done these cards, so I feel a little bit out of practice. Honestly, this isn't the favorite one that I've done, but it was good to get back into it. Doing the weaving was a lot of fun. In hindsight, I wish I had kind of covered the whole card in it because I really liked how it turned out, but that's okay. So I'm adding some distressed ink here around the edge and archival. And I decided I needed a little word. So this is a Tim Holtz sticker book that has just a little word on there that I'm adding. And it just says blooming on it. I just added that right over the top. And that is going to do that for my little card here. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Like this video, give it a thumbs up. That helps other people find my channel. And subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, bye.